कर्णेभिः देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यसेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति 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 ओम अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणवेनो भूयिष्ठां ते नममुक्तिं विधेम ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम आप्यायन्तु ममांगानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांति। अन्नपूर्णे सदा पूर्णे शंकर प्राणवल्लभे ज्ञानवैराग्य सिद्ध्यर्थं भिक्षां देहि च पार्वती माता च पार्वती देवी पिता देवो महेश्वरः बान्धवा शिवभक्ताश्च स्वदेशो भुवनत्रयम् ओम।
So welcome to the Stotrabodha series, Bharatiya Stotrabodha series, talk number 14. Today our talk is on the importance of Annapurna Ashtakam of Acharya Shankara. And it's my pleasure to invite the keynote speaker, Dr. Vanitha Ramaswamy, to give us the keynote talk today. And the program will be, we have had the Veda Kusumanjali. Now we'll have a live singing by Srimati Annapurna Duvuri, and there are a couple of other chanting items from the students of the Kendra. So we'll start with Srimati Annapurna Duvuri. Anu, please go ahead.
Can you see me? Hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's all good.
Shri Vidyam Paripurnameshikaram Bindu Trikonambika Tvameya Sesha Mahesha Bhutachalane Manche Shiva Karake Kamakshim Kamalakritar Navamayim Kameshwaram Kastita Kanchinu Purachinmayim Bhasanilayam Shri Brahma Vidyam Bhaje. Annapurne Vishalakshi Annapurne Vishalakshi Annapurne Vishalakshi Akila Bhuvana Sakshi Katachi Annapurne Vishalakshi Akila Bhuvana साक्षी कटाक्षी अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षी उन्नत गर्ता तीर बिहारी उन्नत गर्ता तीर बिहारी ओंकारिणी तुरितारिणी वारिणी उन्नत गर्ता तीर विहारिणी ओंकारिणी दुरितारिणी वारिणी पन्नगाभरण राज्ञि पुराणी पन्नगाभरण राज्ञि पुराणी परमेश्वरी विश्वेश्वरी भास्वरी अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षी अखिल भुवन साक्षी कटाक्षी अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षी पायसान्नपूरितमाणिक्य 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 पात्र हे मधर्वि विधृत करे पायसान पूरितमाणिक्य पात्र हे मदर्वि विधृत करे काय जाति रक्षण निपुण तरे कांचन मणिभूषणांबरधरे काय जाति रक्षण निपुण तरे कांचन मणिभूषणांबरधरे तोयजासनादि सेवित पदे तुम्बुरु नारदादि विनुत पदे तोयजासनादि सेवित पदे गुरु नारदादि विनुत पदे त्रयातीत मोक्ष प्रद चतुरे त्रिपद शोभित गुरु गुहसारे अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षी अखिल भुवन साक्षी कटाक्षी अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षी अन्नपूर्णे विशालाक्षी रक्षा
Thank you.
Thank you
Very,
very
very
much.
beautiful. So next I will play a classical song by Vaishnavi Peri.
करुणाकर माधव मामव भासुर कनक सुरुचिर निजवासना करुणाकर माधव मामव भासुर कनक सुरुचिर निजवासना करुणाकर माधव मामव भासुर कनक सुरुचिर निजवासना करुणाकर मूरशासन जगदीश्वर मूरशासन मूरशासन जगदीश्वर मूरशासन जगदीश्वर मुखनिंदित सीतरुचे हरे सदा जय 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 मूरशासन जगदीश्वर मुखनिंदित सीतरुचे हरे सदा जय 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 करुणाकर माधव मामव भासुर कनक सुरुचिर निजवासना करुणाकर पादविनत सुखमा हिवर शयन पंकजनाभविभो पादविनत सुखमा हिवर शयन पंकजनाभविभो सादित विमात सादित विमात सादित विमात सरसीरुहलोचन वारणाधिपादि मोचन करुणाकर माधव मामव भासुर कनक सुरुचिर निजवासना करुणाकर
And last one before we start our talk is chanting by Venkat Karthik Peri, and he's going to chant the Durga Suktam.
ॐ जातवेदसे सुनवामसो ममराति यतो निदहाति वेदः स नः परुषदति दुर्गानि विश्वा नावेव सिन्धुन्दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टां दुर्गां देवीगुं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः अग्ने त्वं पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गानि विश्वा पूश्च पृथ्वी बहुलान उर्वि भवातोकाय तनयाय संयोः विश्वानि नो दुर्गः जातवेदः सिन्धुन्ननाव दुरितातिपर्षि अग्ने अत्रिवन्मनसा गृणानोऽस्माकं बोध्यविता तनूनां पृतनाजितगुं सहमानमुग्रमग्निगुं हुवेम परमाच्छदस्तात् स नः परुषदति दुर्गानि विश्वा क्षामद्देवो अतिदुरितात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषि कमीद्यो अध्वरेषु सनाच्च होता नव्यश्च सत्सि स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवं पिप्रयस्वास्मभ्यं च सौभगमायजस्व गोभिर्जुष्टमयुजो निषिक्तं तवेन्द्र विष्णोरनुसञ्चरेम नाकस्य पृष्ठमभिसंवसानो वैष्णवीं लोक इहमादयन्ताम् ॐ कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः.
Thank you. So now I'll request my father, Dr. Prabhakar Kalyam, to please introduce the speaker.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Today is a very auspicious day. when in our series of Stotrabodha and monthly meet, we have been having a good number of lectures or discourses. And this month, June 22, we are having a discourse on Annapurna Ashtakam of Sankara. Already we have some stotras of Sankara being discoursed in our series. And Annapurna Ashtakam is an important text, important stotra, where Goddess Parvati in her aspect as Annapurna has been recognized and eulogized and praised by Acharya Sankara himself. And she is described, Adisakti, Parasakti, as the Purna Annam. And Purna Annam, there is everything that is being edible, enjoyed by all people in the creation, is Annam. Adhyate iti Annam. And that kind of Annam is being overlorded by Devi Parameswari, because whatever Annam we people consume, that must be giving a lot of benefits, physical, mental, and intellectual, and more. So, but the Rudra, her husband, Shiva, is Annapati. So, Annapati and Annapurna. Even Annapati depends upon the Annapurna. So, you observe a photograph where Shiva goes with the begging bowl before his wife or Mata Annapurna asking for alms. So, that's a typical photograph. Maybe Annapati, but Annapurna's grace is very much important to all. Therefore, who is this Annapurna? Of course, the Devi is being eulogized in a number of forms. For example, now we have seen Muthuswami Dikshitar having portrayed Annapurna's glory in the Kirtana, which Annapurna has sung. That is Annapurne, Sadapurne, like that. So therein also Dikshitar has represented who is that Devi, Annapurna, and Paraparvati and all that. So in this Ashtakam, Annapurna Ashtakam, Shankaracharya also tried to describe her in a possible manner, impressing all people that she is a must. One has to remember her whenever they take food, whatever, and pay regards to her, and because of her grace, the lifespan will be definitely long, healthy, prosperous. So I don't want to talk more about this just now, because we have before us a very versatile, deep scholar, Dr. Vanitha Ramaswamy. She is a retired professor of Sanskrit, head of department in MES College. And long years back, she retired. Even before I retired, she also retired. But she has been active, contributing for the knowledge, spreading Sanskrit language, culture, literature. And she is also a good grammarian. She has written several books connected to so many branches of knowledge. So her biodata runs 2 pages. But for the present, we want her to give a discourse on Annapurna Devi. And when I requested her, she readily said, "Sir, I will do it." So that itself is Annapurna's anugraha passing through her. So today I like to, we all are very eager to listen to her discourse. And because this Annapurna Ashtakam has got several aspects also. It has got a direct connection to the Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika aspects. The Tapatraya are also mentioned. But ultimately, who is Annapurna? Mata, mother, and Sri Mata, Sri Maharagni, and all that she is. So asking these few words, I request Dr. Vanitha Ramaswamy. Actually, she is very much familiar to our WAVES, World Association for Vedic Studies, Bangalore chapter, and also international branch and all that. So, and also Nada Veda Adhyayana Kendra, and she has also got separately her own Rasa Academy, and she is teaching since even before retirement, now also an active teacher, and we listen to her. Welcome, Dr. Vanitha Ramaswamy, and all others who are joining the discourse time. Thank you very much. Please welcome.
Shall I start, sir?
Yeah,
Shall I
please.
start?
Yeah, Shil.
Thank you very much, sir, for the introduction. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to all the listeners from Ways and also from Bengaluru, members from Bengaluru. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Pranavallabhe Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. In fact, I should really congratulate Prasad Chalyam, Vamshi, Vibhuri, because I had seen them as very young people working with Mr. Prabhakar. And they have taken over and they have kept the whole thing alive, not only here, but at the international level. So I should congratulate you, Mr. Prasad, for all that you have been doing and your service.
Thank you, madam.
So I recited one shloka of Annapurna. Already Dr. Prabhakar has given us some information, introduced in fact Annapurna Devi. And this shloka, Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Purana Vallabhe Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. So Annapurne means it is a Sambodhana. O Devi Annapurna, Sadapurna, who is always Purna, means complete, whole. And Prana Vallabha, she is the darling of Shankara. Prana Vallabha means. And for the sake of acquiring or securing knowledge and detachment, Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham. Thou give me alms, O Parvati. This is the meaning of the shloka. Actually, this Annapurna Stotra is also called as Annapurna Ashtaka. But there are, Ashtaka means there should be only 8 stanzas. Maybe 1 or 2, you see, some connected shlokas could be there. But here in Annapurna Ashtaka, we have more than 8 shlokas. And of these, say about 10 to 12 shlokas are there. We can accept it as Annapurna Ashtaka. This is the key shloka of Annapurna Stotra. What is the devotee praying for in this shloka? The bhakta is asking only for the ultimate, that is jnana and vairagya. She is ready to offer anna, food, nourishment, prosperity, and all our abhishtas and all that. But Shankara is making the bhakta ask for jnana and vairagya siddhyartham, to secure jnana. Jnana means atma jnana. And vairagya is detachment. Detachment means what? Wisdom. You are in the society, you are in the family, you are in the midst of people, and still how to develop detachment.
So connection break. Pause the video.
Yeah, screen froze.
Video.
Yeah. Annapurna Stotra is a popular devotional prayer to Goddess Annapurna, Divine Mother, and the presiding deity of Kashi. Kashi is the present Varanasi, or Benares as we call. She is called Annada, Annapurna, Annapurneshwari, etc. Annapurna is an aspect of Adishakti, just as Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati are depicted as different aspects of Durga Parameshwari in Durga Saptashati. The stotra is composed by our great preceptor, Bhagavad Pada, Sri Shankaracharya, a well-known world philosopher. He is highly recognized for his philosophical contributions and respected for his learning and wisdom. He is the propounder of the Advaita system of Indian philosophy. He is a great devotee of Mother Goddess Sharadamba, who adorns the Sringeri temple at present. He lived during the 7th century BC. He took to sannyas, renounced the family life as a young boy, and mastered all the Vedic scriptures and wrote commentaries on Prasthanatraya, and also authored many original Sanskrit works, both philosophical and devotional. In this stotra, he gives several divine characteristics of the deity Annapurna and begs for jnana and vairagya siddhi. The stotra is also called, as I said, Annapurnashtaka. It means only 8 stanzas. Sometimes it could be with a few other connected shlokas, but Annapurna Stotra contains more than 8 shlokas or 8 stanzas, say about 12 stanzas. The word stotra is derived from the root stu prashamsayam, to praise or eulogize the deity's characteristic features as per power or her Shakti. Classical, yeah. Talking about the classical stotras, which are highly embellished literature because they are poetic and metrical in form. They are also known for the profundity of thought, devotional fervor, and above all, their elegant style, easily adaptable to musical tunes. So, stotras are chanted and also sung. And singing is very welcome because Krishna says, Naham vasami vaikunte, na yogi hridaye, madbhakta yatra gayanti, tatra tishtami narada. So the word Annapurna in Sanskrit is a combination of 2 words, Anna and Purna. Anna is said to be Brahman. The Veda says, Annam na nindyat, Annam brahmeti vyajanat, and also Annagatah Pranaha. So these statements convey that she is Parabrahma Swarupini. Purna means whole, complete. Purna also has got a special spiritual meaning in the Vedas. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyate. So she is the very Shakti or the power, life in everything that exists on this universe. Purnamadaha means that is whole. Purnamidam, this is whole. And Purnat Purnamudachyati, from whole comes the whole. And take away Purna, and Purna remains the same. So Annapurna is the complete or the Purna Parabrahma in the philosophical sense. The Annapurnashtaka stotra begins with the stanza Nityanandakari, Varabhayakari, Saundarya Ratnakari, Nirdhutakhila Ghora Pavanakari, Pratyaksha Maheshwari, Praleyachala Vamsha Pavanakari, Kashi Puradhishwari. So Nityanandakari, she bestows eternal happiness on us, and Varabhayakari, she gives boon for us, for Abhaya, fearlessness, And Saundarya Ratnakari, she is the very ocean of beauty, the most beautiful in creation. And Nibdhuta Kila Ghora Pavanakari. What is this? This is something special. Nibdhuta Kila Ghora, even if we have committed from heinous sins, Nibdhuta, she is capable of washing it off if we are really devoted to her. And Pavanakari, she is the most divine person. And Kashipura Adhishwari. Adhishwari means she is the residing deity or the presiding goddess of Kashi or Benares. This is the meaning of the stotra. So, in the same mood or tempo, we have got the various characteristic features and eulogies of Annapurneshwari. So, what is it that we have to know here? Our scriptures advocate four aims of human life. See, why I am telling this is because Annapurna is generally understood as one who bestows food, life, nourishment, prosperity, and all that is materially required for us. But this shloka gives the key, you see, the nutshell of the whole shloka, of the whole stotra. Our scriptures, you see, they ask us to fulfill the four aims of human life, namely dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Similarly, we have the four ashramas: brahmacharya ashrama, grihastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, and sannyasa ashrama. Also, the four stages in the evolution of man, namely balya, kaumarya, yogvana, and vardhakya. So we are expected to gradually evolve to this state of jnana and vairagya. As householders, our needs are many. That's why he describes Devi as Nityanandakari. Don't worry, she is there to bring joy, eternal joy to you. Varabhayakari, we're all afraid of life, but she is going to give a boon to bless us with abhaya, fearlessness. And Nibdhuta Kila Ghora Pavanakari. As I told you, if you're afraid of some sins that you have committed, she is ready to cleanse that also. And Bhakta Abhishtakari. And how Saubhagya Maheshwari. How is it she is capable of doing all this? She herself is a treasure house of Saubhagya. Means all kind of prosperity, what all we think of under the sun. So you are given license to achieve the Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And Kama is raised to the level of a Purushartha. And these epithets about Devi in the shlokas reveal that she is complete, capable, and has everything that you want. Bhakta Abhishtakari should be underlined very often. And even without asking, she rewards you. So karma has no menu of its own. It serves what you deserve. So it may also mean that your Shraddha and Bhakti may prompt her means the goddess, to fulfill your material requirements. And she is Purna and she is Kripavalambanakari. She may have all this, but why should she give you this? Because she's so compassionate. Kripavalambanakari. She works on Kripa only to bless you, to forgive you. So she has compassion, and moreover, she's Mata. She's your mother. So no problem. That's not important to gain all these material uh, acquisitions, material things that you are just hankering for in day to day life. Then what is important? The obvious prayer is Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham Bhiksham Dehi Cha Parvati. See, Shankara diverts our attention not to these material things but to something else. It is for Vairagya and Atmajnana, that or Atmajnana means salvation or moksha. So the strong point of why this is so, what is the intention of Shankara in diverting our attention from all this? The strong point of Indian tradition is Adhyatma Vidya. We should never forget it. The science of the self. Man has to understand his true dimension, Sat, Chit, and Ananda Swarupa. this helps him to love his fellow beings in bonds of love and service. Well, there are three basic sign qua nons for success in the spiritual path. The Jnana Vairagya Siddhi. Siddhi means success. So he is praying the goddess to make him successful in his attempt. So Durlabham Trayamevaitat Devanugraha Hetukam Manushyatvam Mumukshatvam Maha Purusha Samshraya. Then, what is Manushyatvam? Manushyatvam means one should be born as a human being because animals, trees, and even divine beings cannot even try for Jnana Vairagya Siddhi. What happens to the divine beings? Kshine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti. So they don't have the power or the qualification to aspire for Jnana Vairagya Siddhi. So there is a beautiful statement, Naratvam Durlabham Loke, Kadajil Labhate Janma, Manushyam Punya Sanchayat, he says. There should be a lot of Punya Sanchaya. You must have done lots of meritorious things to be born as a human being. So, this is an important statement because Shankara is warning us. This is a wake up call. The Annapurnashtaka is a wake up call for all the devotees to utilize this privilege of having been born as human beings, that is, having been born as Manushyatva, or having the quality of Manushya, because we become qualified for this Jnana and Vairagya. The second point is Mumukshatva, an intense desire for salvation. Unless you have that desire for salvation and liberation, you cannot attain this. Thirdly, Gurur Anugraham. We should seek refuge under a great Guru for guidance. So God's grace cannot be attained by scholarship. By this statement, you can understand riches, pilgrimages, etc. According to Shankara, it can only be attained by right perception called Samyak Darshana. This is derived from vichara, that is self-enquiry on the path directed by a Sadguru. Who is a Sadguru? A competent teacher like Shankaracharya himself. And the Annapurnashtaka has been given to us, has been gifted to us by no other than Shankara. So the Bhagavata Purana says, all right, we want to go in this path. How do we go? What are the requisites for us? The Bhagavata Purana says that bhaktas get Jnana Vairagya Siddhi or Atma Jnana by following 9 steps, by treading 9 steps, he says. What are they? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha Smaranam. Here, Devyaha Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sneham, and Atma Nivedanam. These are the 9 steps in the pilgrimage of man towards God. See, if you don't compose a shloka eulogizing or characterizing the goddess or any deity as a matter of fact, how will you hear, listen to about the goddess? See, we are all very innocent people. See, we need the guidance of a guru. So, a guru like Shankara, who, on the basis of the realization, due to transcendental meditation, he can see the goddess, he can experience the goddess. So, he can only tell us as to how it is. So, he has composed it. So, then, Shravanam, what is our first duty? To listen to that. Desire to listen to the glory and grandeur of God and the various awe-inspiring manifestations of divinity. So, listening to a stotra given by a great guru like Shankaracharya is the first step for us to understand about jnana and vairagya. Let us now listen to one of the shlokas, because listening is very important for us. I have already read this Nityananda Kari shloka, and we have to be very, very aware, very much aware of Nityananda. This Ananda is not the pleasures that we get due to our sensuous enjoyments. This Ananda is called as Brahmananda, Nityananda. And then Varabhayakari. See, Bhaya, not for these worldly things, but the fear that we may not be admitted to this path of salvation. Then Saundarya Ratnakari. Why? Because this Saundarya, Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, he says. Beauty, you see, it attracts our mind. We keep thinking and thinking all the time about the recalling the beauty of the goddess. So she is the very ocean of beauty. And Nibduta Keda Gora Pavanakari. I told you, karma has no menu of itself, but it serves what we deserve. But here he says, Akila Gora, it is not that you will not be excused. Yes, your papas and your sins will be completely washed away. And Pratyaksha Maheshwari, who is she? She is not any attendant or subordinate of someone. She is the very goddess. She has all the strength and power to take you up, to take you in the right path. And then Pralaya Vamsha Pavanakari. See, to bring us to the realities and to the real form where we can ordinary forms which we can experience, not abstract forms. You see, Pralaya Vamsha. So we have to recall the story of the birth of Parvati to Menaka and Himavan. So Pralaya Vamsha Pavanakari. Why did she take birth there? To purify, to sanctify the family or the lineage of Himavan. And Kashi Puradhishwari. This is a refrain which we have to understand. She is the presiding deity, the Adi Devata of Kashi. There are many places where we have Durga Parameshwari, Lalita, Ambika, Annapurneshwari. We have in Karnataka, Horanadu, where we have the Annapurna Devata, and many other temples, but this is the most important. So he is referring to that. Then the second shloka, you see, Nana Ratna Vichitra Bhushanakari. Again, the physical aspect of the goddess. So she is not just like that. She is just decked well and so beautiful because she has to look so prosperous and she should make us hopeful. So Nana Ratna Vichitra Bhushanakari. She is decorated with various gems and ornaments. And Hemambara Dambari. Again, Hema means gold. Ambara means Vastra. And she is dressed in what? Hemambara. So these clothes or saris laced with gold. Hemambara Dambari. So golden ornaments, etc. and other luxurious decorations are found on her body. And Muktahara Vilambamana Vilasat Vakshoja Kumbhantari. See, when these shlokas are sung musically, no, they sound very beautiful and very soothing to our ears. Mukta means pearls. Muktahara. So string of pearls, what Vilambamana, they are showing themselves hanging in her neck. And Vilasat Vakshoja Kumbhantari on her bosom and making her look the most beautiful person. And Kashmira Garu Vasini. Kashmira and Agaru Vasita. So she is very fragrant. And why? Because Kashmira. See, Kashmira refers to saffron here. So she is perfumed with saffron. And it is also a symbol of Shakti. Means saffron is red in color. So Durga or any aspect of Durga is connected with this red color. That is why she is perfumed with saffron, red in color. And agaru is a kind of wood which is also very fragrant, and she uses these two. And this is, see, we have some poetic conventions, you see, when some things are described. While describing a woman, we have some poetic conventions. While describing a man, we have. While describing the beauty, we have. All those similes and metaphors are used here. Ruchikari. How is it done? Is it in an irregular fashion? In a repulsive way? No. Ruchikari. It is making her appear very brilliant and attractive. And Kashi Puradhishwari. Again, the refrain comes. Now with ornaments, see, these words also have some special meanings. I will give you the special meaning. Now coming to the third shloka, it is very, very important. Now it is becoming more and more philosophical. Nowhere has she said that you have to ask for Anna or anything. She is there to grant all these things on her own. And even if you want, you can just ask. There is no problem. She is ready to give. But this is a beautiful shloka now. Yoganandakari, Ripukshayakari, Dharmartha Nishthakari, Chandrarkanala Vasamanalahari, Trailokya Rakshakari, Sarvaishwarya Samasta Vanchitakari, Kashi Puradishwari, Vikshandehi Kripaavalambanakari, Mata Annapurneshwari says. This is Yoganandakari. See, for people who are just approaching the goddess for petty things, what has yoga to do with? Yoganandakari means the giver of happiness through yoga or yogic practices. So it comes from the word yuju. It means to yog or link, that is, the individual soul getting connected with the Supreme. This is done through prayers, and all kinds of prayers first commence with loud recitations. The Veda mantras are also called as Veda Ghosha. It means Vedas are recited loudly to create powerful sound vibrations. And we have silent ways of prayer also. We have called dhyana, etc. And tan, dhyana, tapas, or silent ways of meditating. So there are several kinds of prayers like mantra, stotra, dhyana, gana, and dhyana yoga. And then we have karma and upasana also. The karmas, various homas, yagas, and yagyas are performed, and vratas are performed. But for us, upasana is very important. So dhyana yoga is rooted in the Vedas. The Yoganandakari, the phrase, is very important to know. This is what exactly Shankara wants to tell us. The upasana portions of the Vedas prescribe wonderful yogic meditations. And the utility of meditation cannot be explained at all. It has to be experienced. That is why Yoganandakari. And it is a blissful state graced by Annapurna Devi herself. And with this, the mind is purified and made single pointed, and the mind becomes a powerhouse of energy. And the mind becomes, you see, ready to achieve anything, to do anything. Thus, all these things, you see, karma, stotra, dhyana, upasana, are a preamble to jnana, the highest knowledge of the self, namely the knowledge of Annapurna herself, because she is the Parabrahma Swarupini. Then Ripu Kshayakari, he says. This is also important for us. Ripu is not the somebody in the neighborhood or somebody with whom we have fought. Ripu is the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsalya. These are the inner Shatrus or the inner enemies of man, which bring obstacles to his prosperity. So Ripu Kshayakari. So when we pray for her, she has the power to kshaya, destroy these enemies for you. And Dharmartha Nishthakari, he says, Nishtha. Man has to have some kind of conviction in his life. Without convictions, he cannot prosper in life. So this integrity and convictions are very important. And this phrase says the artha that you are going to acquire should be earned through the path of dharma. It should be dharmartha nishtha. Means so, by her blessings, she makes you stick to the path of dharma and acquire artha. Dharma and artha both are approved by her, by Annapurna herself. And Chandrarkanala Bhasamana Lahari says. Lahari, he says. Lahari means something that is flowing. So Chandrarkanala Bhasamana Lahari. Her beauty, her grace, her brilliance is similar to the Chandra, the illumination or the glory of the moon. Anala, Arka means the sun, Anala means fire. And they are flowing in the form of waves, he says. And Trailokya Rakshakari. What is her business with all these possessions? She is only there to protect. To protect Trailokya means the three worlds, which is her own creation again. So again, coming to the next one. Kailasachala Kandaralayakari, Gauri Uma Shankari, Kaumari Nigamartha Gocharakari, Omkara Pichakshari, Mokshadwara Kapata Patanakari, Kashi Puradhishwari. And it goes. Now here, each phrase tries to tell you something. Kailasachala Kandaralaikari. Where does she stay? Who is this goddess Annapurna? Who is capable and who can bless me with all these things? Then he says, she has lived or she has made. Kailasa Achala means a parvata or a mountain, and that is the Kailasa mountain. And Kandara and Alaya, see, they are the caves inside the mountain. So she has made the caves of Mount Kailasa her abode and is known by various names. What are her names? She is staying in Kailasa mountain. Okay. Her name is Gauri, her name is Uma, Shankari, Kaumari, and Nigamartha Gocharakari, he says. What are these four names? Let us see. Gauri means she's, because we have to think of her. Shravana and then Kirtana and Manana. These are the important steps for us to go nearer and nearer the God and nearer our goal and nearer the achievement of our goal, success of our goal. So we have to think about these features of the goddess. Gauri means white, Gauravarna. She's Varna, Karpura Kanti Dhavala Yuktam. This is the description that we get in Durga Saptashati. So she's very fair in color. Uma. Uma means it's a name, pet name given by her mother. Understand, to Parvati. And Shankari. Shankari, the wife or the consort of Shankara, Shiva. And Kaumari. Kaumari is also her name because Kaumari, she takes often the form of a girl. So Nigamartha Gocharakari. Nigama means with the Vedas. Nigama Artha Gocharakari. Where do you understand about her? More and more about her powers, her nature. Though he says she reveals herself only in the Vedas, through the Vedas. And how? Omkara Bijakshari. So she is perceptible in her divine form, which vibrates with a seed syllable called Om. Now, we said she is Parabrahma Swarupini. And what is the nature of the form of Parabrahma? It is Omkara. It is the seed syllable of everything. It is the nucleus of the whole universe around which everything, the universe is revolving. Not only the universe, even the trinities, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, and all the powers in the creation is revolving around that. And Moksha Dwara Kapata Patanakari. So beyond this, see, she is the only one who is capable of kapatana. Patana means to open. Pat, the gate, kapata, the gate. So dwara. She is the only one who is capable of opening the doors of the gate for moksha or salvation or liberation. And who is this? Kashipuradhishwari. So he is totally dedicated. He has totally dedicated this prayer to the Annapurneshwari of Kashi or Varanasi. So all these capabilities are there for the mother. Now, Omkara, and we all know that Omkara is the only one syllable, only sound, one sound around which the whole Upanishads are revolving around. Now, these 9 modes of bhakti are very important. The Bhagavata says that the bhaktas reach God through these 9 paths. And these are the 9 steps in the pilgrimage of man towards God along the path of dedication. That is bhakti. Bhakti is very important and surrender because Krishna says, see, without bhakti and surrender, and if you go on doubting whether the God exists, whether you are going to get the benefits and all that, see, samshayatma vinashyati. So you should not doubt. Shraddha is very important. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, he says. Shraddha hi paramadatihi. So to gain this Shraddha, you should do Shravana, Kirtana. Once you listen to these, you start singing, you start repeating. And then Manana, you try to understand the meaning of the shlokas. See, these are all the gradually, you are evolving to a stage when you become qualified to aspire for Jnana Vairagya Siddhi. And then Kirtanam. See, once Shravana and you see, and also listening to the names and other achievements and marvelous powers of the goddess, you have to do Kirtana. Kirtana means singing, as I told you, singing about her manifestation. See, once Lakshmi, once Kalika, once Saraswati, once Annapurna, once Vishalakshi. Like that, you see, the goddess can manifest in several forms. So you should not have any doubt about it. So there's another important internet connection. So another important phrase here, Drishya Drishya Prabhuta Pavanakari, he says. So she bears or holds within her many visible and invisible divine attributes. So it is not what you see, but it is something beyond your sight. And then Brahmanda Bhandodari, she holds the whole universe within her. And Leela Nataka Sutra Vedanakari, she's the one who pulls the strings, you see, to as a stage manager to make all the characters play on this world. Vijnana Deepankuri, he says. Vijnana Deep, see, this is again, I spent some time on this. Vijnana is Vishishta Jnana, one who instills. You see, Deepa Ankuri. Ankuri means sprouting. See, sprouting or kindling the lamp of divine knowledge. See, unless she intends to bless you with this knowledge, with this divine knowledge, it is not possible. And Vijnana Deepankuri, Shri Vishwesha Mana Prasadanakari. Simultaneously, she is trying to meditate upon the mind of Shiva, Shiva's grace. Why? Why does she want Shiva's grace? Because it should fall down as grace to this world. So it is Shiva Shakti Swarupini always. That is another point. And then Urvi is Sarva Janeshwari. Urmi means who is Mother Earth herself. Here comes the point of Annapurneshwari. And Mr. Prabhakar was referring to this. And Urvi Sarva Janeshwari, he says. Being the Mother Earth herself, what has happened here? She is always, you see, devoted to bestow food, Annapurneshwar, because she is linked with the earth and she grows grains and lot of things, vegetation, and she's always interested in giving food. Urvi and Sarvajaneshwari, she is the goddess of everyone and she provides food for everyone who is born on this earth. Bhagavati Mata, that is why we call her as Bhagavati, the Supreme Mother, Bhagavati Mata, Annapurneshwari. See, in this sixth shloka, for the first time, you get the word Annapurneshwari. And then Veni Neela Samana Kuntaladhari. Annapurna is, we have already explained. Veni Neela, again, the physical aspect of Annapurna, that is whose dark braids of hair, understand? They are flowing down like the waves of her grace. So even there is some divinity. And Nityanna Daneshwari, this is the most beautiful one again. It is linked with Annapurna and food. Nityanna Daneshwari, she is the Lord, she is the goddess, she is the controller of Annadana in the world. Nityannadana. She always does Nitya. Eternally, she is offering food to all her devotees. And then Sarvanandakari. By doing all this, what does she intend to? She intends to bring Ananda. See, it is said Ananda is something great. Sanandam Sarvadanandam Sarvananda Pradayakam Shri Krishnam Sachidanandam Mukti Rupam Samashriye. Ananda is of the form of salvation, Mukti itself. So Sarvanandakari and Shubhakari, Sada Shubhakari, he says. So there is no question of whether she is angry and she is going to do some Ashubha for her. That is not her intention at all. She is always there to guide you and do Shubha for her. This is stanza number 6. Now coming at the spiritual level, the invisible power having total control over the visible. Drishya, Drishya. You see, so at the spiritual level I'm talking and over the visible. And the subject of, and this is the subject of inquiry as far as Shankara is concerned. Now, humanity was an inherent curiosity in the unseen. All human beings, though they can see so many things on this earth, their curiosity is to know and to explore the unseen. And something unseen exists and called the spirit or the Atma. That is the inquiry into the Adhyatmic level. The first level is to understand the nature and power of the unseen, then go beyond it. So we see that everybody does idol worship in some form or the other because it symbolizes something greater than the object. And the use of symbols for worship is meant for making our minds single pointed, means to concentrate. Concentration is very useful in our transcendental meditation. And then Adi Kshanta Samasta Varnanakari. She is responsible to make all the letters manifest from within her. See, Tatvari Vakpadani, you know that. So the Vaikhari starting from the Mooladhara, she is responsible for all these. And Shambho's Tribhavakari. Tribhava is Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Based on these, he is in charge of creation and then preservation and destruction. She is the one who helps. Shambho Tribhavakari. She is the one who spreads, extends herself in these forms. And Kashmira, again, Kashmira is the word. She's reddish in color, she says. So she's compared to, or the dresses she wears, or her appearance is compared to the saffron. And Trijaneshwari, see, she is the goddess of Sri Trijaneshwari is to be linked with Trilahari, signifying three Shaktis. What are the three Shaktis of her? Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Swarupini, they are flowing towards the people or the devotees. And Nityankura Sharvari, and Nitya Ankura means always she is sprouting creation, always sprouting creation with a Sharvari. Sharvari stands for the feminine power. And then Darvi Swarna Vichitra Ratna Khachita Dakshe Kare Samstita. So, O goddess, you are adorned with Sarva Varna Vichitra Ratna, different kinds of gems, he says. And Dakshe, O daughter of Daksha, Kare Samstita. So, all achievements are in your hands, having a beautiful body also. Vame Swadu Payodhari. And Sahajari, and Vame, what? She holds something like a cup of milk or something to offer to the devotees. Sahajari, what is she? See, we just told you about this Smarana and the 9 paths. In this Sahajari is one. Slowly, as you are thinking of Annapurna, you see, and you are reciting about Annapurna's glory, and your Manana, you are always just connecting her with all the things around you. Yes, feeling that she is the same outside. Andar Bahishcha Vyapya Narayana Stita. If you get this idea, you feel that she is a friend. She is always there for your help. And Saubhagya Maheshwari, and she is the goddess of giving Saubhagya to you. And Bhakta Vishtakari, Drisha Shubhakari, her eyesight, her drishti on you is always Shubhakari, is always an auspicious one. And then comes to see this kind of identity, you see, makes you to surrender to her. Worshipping the goddess mother is called as Vandanam. See, till now you are not doing Vandana, you are listening and then you are reciting, you are thinking and all that. Now, the 4th step is Vandana. You start bowing down. You are grateful to all her greatness. And by concentrating on honoring her supreme power, what happens? It protects us in turn. This is the result of honoring, recognizing, and worshipping the God. So that is why he says, Vikshandehi cha Parvati. When does this come? When this feeling of surrender and asking her for what we want, this comes only at that stage. Even Shankara has something to beg her. So this attitude of the devotee on the supremacy of the goddess gives the bhakta, the aspirant, inner satisfaction and inspiration to live on this earth in spite of all odds. So after Kirtana, Vandana, etc., the bhakta begins to see the form of the goddess in all beings and all objects, and wherever he turns, and so he develops. See what happens when you are seeing the goddess and Paramatma and all the objects around you, you develop an attitude of reverence towards nature and all life on this earth. So, established in this bent of mind, the devotee becomes more devoted and with no sense of superiority. he loses all sense of superiority and he becomes very humble. And this is a vital step which foretells great spiritual success. So this humility in front of creation, in front of the goddess. And then Chandra, Arka, Koti, Koti, Sadrisha. See how all Chandra, Arka and Anala, they're all only the beautifying factors of the great mother. And Kshatrastranakari says, Mahabhayakari, Maha Abhayakari. This is one correction that we have to make. She is Abhayakari, one who grants them great fearlessness. And Kshatrastranakari, she is supposed to protect all the three worlds because of her strength. And Sakshan Mokshakari, again and again, Shankara stresses on the word Sakshan Mokshakari. She is the very goddess who has to grace you, who has to bless you with this. Sada Shivakari and Vishweshwara Sridhari. She is the repository of Sri Vishweshwara. That is, Shiva always stays with her. Daksha Krandakari. With all these things, what did she do? She made her own father cry, repent for his mistake. And Niramayakari. See, the moment you think of goddess, all amayas, diseases will vanish. These are the benefits. And this takes the bhakta to feel that she is the mother and the consort of Shiva. And she takes Shiva as the father and Parvati as the mother, and all the devotees as Swabandhavas. See, Mata me Parvati Devi, Pita Devi Maheshwara, Bandhava Shiva Bhaktascha Swadeshe Bhuvanataryam. So this takes the seeker so near the Lord that he feels himself to be the confidant and comrade. Bandhavaha becomes Sakhaha and companions and friends. And Swadesho Bhuvanataryam. See, his own, he tries to share the God's power. He thinks that he is himself goddess Annapurna, and he tries to share the power and plenty. And God's triumphs and achievements also are felt by him as his own. And this you can find in Durga Saptashati also. And she feels that goddess is a friend to her. And just as Arjuna had become he is not merely as ordinary people. We devotees think about fulfilling or getting food or free from disease or fulfilling our desires. But it is Jnana Vairagya Siddhyartham. This is how Shankara turns our mind away from the ordinary, from the material world. And for this, you have to follow these steps and go nearer and nearer to the goddess and get her grace. So may Goddess Annapurna grace all of us and bless us for prosperity. Thanks.
Thank you, madam. It was fantastic. You have very systematically gone through. Yes, can you hear us? Yes. Yeah, I think you've very systematically gone through. I got all the references I've heard from many sources in one place, very nicely compiled. So thank you so much for a wonderful talk. And I'll have
thanks to Mr. Prabhakar, Dr. Prabhakar and Prasad and whoever is there in this for having given me an opportunity to speak to you. And I have to read this once again because I also was not so aware, you see, that Shankara was bent on conveying this, and it was a wake-up call for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And concluding remarks by my father Prabhakar, and then Purushottam sir is here, so he will say a few words. Please hold on. Nana, go ahead.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Nana, you have to unmute, Nana.
So the Annapurna Ashtakam has been well explained, and the spirit involved in the Stotram has been also indicated and explained to us, and we are all inspired. And all kinds of bhakti also is being shown in the Stotra. And we have got a beautiful picture of Goddess Annapurna, how she looks like, and how much benefit she will be able to give to the devotees. And Shankaracharya praises the family in which she is born. And right from that, and moreover, she is very simple, not much exposed to luxury and all that. So when you say the Kailasa Achala Kandaralaya Kari means Kandaras don't have any comforts. They're all caves in the Himalayan mountain or Kailasa mountain. So the place she lives is very simple. To say that, that is the Vairagya Siddhi, and that's the scope to give Jnana Siddhi. And there is a beautiful description of Devi. And actually, we should feel that Shankara has visualized the Swarupa of Annapurna when he comes to Kasi, the Benares, the seat of her, because Kasi Visalakshi and Kasi Annapurna. And both temples are close by in Benares. So here, he he asked for not only food, but Gnana Siddhi and Vairagya Siddhi, so that we'll have the moksha prapti, and which is moksha, that is the Subham. So ultimately, what is the best fortunate thing for all beings born on land is to attain the Subham. And that's why Vanita Ramaswamy is speaking on Subhakrit Nama Samvatsaram upon the Mokshakari Annapurna Devi. It's really wonderful. And so, and also you have to, if at all we want to have a beautiful, complete picture, we have to dive deep into the ocean of the Nigamas, the Vedas, because she is found in the Nigamas, and Annapurna is important. And what is the mainstay for Devi is Krupa. See, whoever gives us Krupa, when food or happiness, they're all Krupas. So to say, that's why Krupa Avalambanakari and Mata, she is the mother. So every word, every expression is open for deeper interpretation and derivation of important messages from this stotra. And our Dr. Vanita Ramaswamy has given us the insight and to further research and find out the benefits from the small Annapurnashtakam. But though it is 12 slokas, doesn't matter, 4 more. So Ashtaka is important, and that we have got it here. And not much talking about this Annapurna, and it has got a beautiful musical and magical effect upon all people. And it is a Nityanandakari, means Nitya Stotram, we have got to do it. It is not intermittent prayer that we should do. Nitya Stotram can be done on this. So with these few words, now I'll ask our Purushottam, who is also very much deeply interested in the Annapurna, devotion to Annapurna Devi. She will be also make some comments and offer you all thanks.
Namaste.
Hello.
Thank you for this opportunity to say a few words, but Professor Prabhakar Garu said that I will comment. I think I am nowhere near with all the scholarship which you have exhibited, all of you, both, I can't comment on it, but I can only say a few things about my takeaways or what I learned. Thanks very much, Professor Vanita Ramaswamy, for a wonderful exposition and very lucid, very like a good teacher. You took us through word by word meaning as well, and some inner meanings which are non-material. They may have a symbolic spiritual meaning that also you highlighted. Wonderful explanation and also very good summary. And over and above that, Guruji has done a great job. So I will only say a few things about my own understanding. While it is an Ashtakam, why there are 12 slokas, I think you explained that. So that eliminates some doubts in the minds of some ignorant people like me. And then you hit on the nail of, by saying the essence of the main message is Jnana Vairagya Siddhartham. That is the essence. We may be talking of so many material things and so many other benefits, but ultimately, as a human being, having got this human life, you have an ultimate goal. To reach that, you need to go through certain paths, You talked about the ashramas and dharmas and also 9 types of bhaktis. These are all the steps through which ultimately you have to hit on one important thing, that is to be able to get the jnana, through which, of course, because of through jnana one gets vairagya, and that is required. And while you get all this, another important thing I understood from you is all the material things you don't even have to ask. I was thinking, being practitioners or believers of karma yoga, whatever you deserve, you get. Whatever you did, you will get the benefit, good, bad, or ugly. You need to go through it. But you dispel that belief, saying that Goddess can grace out of her compassion. And even if you don't deserve material things, and even if you don't ask, you may get that, all those material things. And these things are required for you to be able to just stand in your own legs and then work for our greater goal, which is jnana. This is great, and it has been very wonderfully explained. And the enthusiasm and also the involvement with which you have spoken, it inspired all of us. And truly, you got really involved in it. And happiness and involvement and excitement, that's very visible. Thank you so much. And thanks for also giving some inner meanings of a few words which need not be taken only on the face value or the literal meaning. Really thank all the people who have conducted. Guruji has started this several months ago. It has been going uninterrupted and very successful. Great speakers have come, and so also I think Professor Prasad has been conducting it very well, and Vamsi has done a great job, and the entire family of our Guruji is involved in a great choreographic effect. Everybody takes one step or the other, one aspect or the other, to make the whole thing very successful. Thanks very much. Appreciate. And on behalf of Veda Adhyayana Kendra and Nada Veda Adhyayana Kendra, we really thank you so much. Appreciate. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Purushottam garu. So I'll just say the Shanti Mantram and we'll conclude. Om Sahana Bhavatu.
2 boys, a
Sahana
boy and girl
Bhunaktu.
who spoke. So you have to thank and appreciate the Durga Suktam, beautifully recited by the Venkat, and also the song rendered by the
Vaishnavi.
Vaishnavi. So compliments to them, and we bless that they should be stars further and improve their pursuits. So thanks to both of them. And their father is Peri Ramakrishna, who is a Veda Adhyayana Kendra student. He's learning Vedas and all that, which our Purushottam garu and everybody knows about him. So thanks.
Sorry, I missed to mention their names in my enthusiasm to conclude. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So
Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Shanti.
Harihi Om Shri Krishna
Hari
Arpanamastu.
Om.
Sarvam Shri
Shri
Veda
Krishna
Purusha Ashirvadostu. Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat